let's continue our coverage now of this breaking news out of the tech world. What are we talking about? We're talking about Hewlett-Packard. They're suing its former CEO, Mark Hurd, on his decision to join Oracle as president. For more on this developing story, let's bring in David Garrity, principal at GVA Research. He joins us on the phone. David has over 20 years of experience in researching, advising, and managing companies in the tech sector. He's a perfect person to talk to about this. So, David, should we be surprised that HP is coming out with this lawsuit?
No, there really shouldn't be a surprise at all. And to the extent that Mark Hurd had fairly substantial confidentiality clauses built into both his employment agreement and most likely also into his severance agreement, this is something that investors in Oracle today should have expected. But, based on the reaction that we've seen in the market, Oracle investors really could care less as to whether HP is going to be suing Mark Hurd individually and possible Oracle as a separate party. So, from that standpoint, yes, this is an expected move. We probably should see a very concerted effort by Hewlett-Packard as well as their attorneys to try to separate Hurd from joining both Oracle first as an officer and second as a director. But to what extent this is going to prove successful, it's going to take some time to spell out.
Well, what was Mark Hurd thinking, though? I mean, and what were the folks over at Oracle, Larry Ellison included, thinking in terms of doing this? Didn't they realize this is just way too soon?
Not necessarily too soon. What's important, I think, for Ellison is that, he made a calculated bet here.
Yeah.
The bet essentially was that he'd completed the acquisition of Sun Microsystems in January of 2010. We now find Oracle in a business, IT hardware, where they historically have not been. And to the extent that someone of Mark Hurd's deep industry knowledge becomes available, it makes eminent business sense for Oracle to try to obtain the services of that individual, and hence, the fact that Mark Hurd stepped down, a little bit less than a month ago,
right,
for Hewlett-Packard, and now finds himself as co-president at Oracle, really shouldn't come as a surprise, because Larry Ellison isn't necessarily going to want to sit around and wait, given the amount of money that Oracle paid for Sun in order for the company to exploit those assets.
That's a really good point. I mean, David, flip side, Hewlett-Packard, they have reason to be concerned considering Mark Hurd's now with another team potentially, or he is with another team, and he did a lot of great things for HP.
Well, it certainly has to be a concern because, prior to Hurd going over to Hewlett-Packard, he had come out of another hardware manufacturer, MCR, which, granted, they're known more for ATMs. But, nonetheless, here's somebody who's got really deep industry knowledge. Because of his practical experience, he probably could rattle off very readily for you what the forward product program for Hewlett-Packard as well as its competitors are going to be. This is very valuable information that Oracle would like to obtain, because certainly Oracle's in the business now of competing against not just Hewlett-Packard, but also against IBM. And so from that standpoint, again, Oracle, they've got a lot of money in their balance sheet. Right. They may be doing some acquisitions, but they are getting into a new and volatile business, quite unlike what they've done elsewhere, and they need a veteran to be in charge of that effort.
All right, well, bottom line, we got another chapter in this story, that's for sure. Hey, David, thank you for finding time for us. David Garrity joining us on the phone about the latest news involving HP, Mark Hurd.